team that goes 6-5, 5-6, and then all of a sudden 9-2. How does that happen? How is that success so instant? Is it because of the management? Is it because of the president? Is it because of the players? How did this happen so fast? Is it because of the head coach, Pat Kirkland, a guy out of a small town, Akron, Ohio, who had a vision of success being the only option?
Here's the toughest thing about coaching. I still get asked the question, people say, okay, you play on Saturday, what do you do all week? A lot of it isn't X's and O's. I watch film probably on average maybe 3.5 to 4 hours a day. But I'm here from 6 a.m. a lot of days till midnight. Mm-hmm. There's so many things that you try to do, and one is just to establish a mindset of your program of, that losing isn't acceptable. We want to be a winning tradition. We want to do it in the right way, and that's the encouragement, the message that we want to get out there. And it took some time, maybe a little bit more time than I wanted to early in my first year, but I think the difference was from year 1 to year 2, we were playing with the same players. It was just, I think the light finally came on, and we understood that we are a good football team, we are a good football program, and this is the way. If you do things this way, you're putting yourself in a position to win. So I don't know if there's a slogan or one-word answer to it. I just think, the vibe that you come off as, and the way you present yourself as, as a leader of a football program is what is going to happen. And I've always tried to promote just a winning mindset.
Why did you choose this job?
Coaching-wise, was an easy decision. Just been involved with athletics my entire life. I think sometimes you get, everybody says, oh, just football. I grew up, I played soccer, and I played baseball, and ran track, and was a wrestler, and played basketball, did a lot of different things. And, athletics was a big part of my life, and obviously I wanted to do something that I was excited about, that I knew would keep me engaged with athletics, and coaching was definitely the route that I wanted to pursue to continue that just love for athletics and dealing with people. Actually, my first job I was a middle school boys and girls track coach. Obviously evolved into football shortly thereafter with high school and college level, but then the University of Charleston was just a great opportunity, great place. They wanted to be successful with their football program. Thought Charleston was a great academic reputation, tremendous location. I thought it'd be just really a good fit.
What exactly is your football philosophy?
Just in general, as far as coaching-wise, or I think first and foremost, I think you win with good people, regardless. And I've been doing this, at the college level now for 15 years, and probably I think some of the best football programs I've been associated with that have won consistently have just done it with great people, and that's coaches, players, staff. Sometimes we get really stuck on finding these great athletes on paper that can run and jump and look good on the in person, but for the most part, I think you've got to find character-wise people that take pride in what they do, play with a passion, coach with a passion, all the above.
In detail, what would you Tuesday practice would be like for you?
Typical Tuesday practice.
Yes, sir.
If we're playing stereotypical Saturday to Saturday, Tuesday's really your load day where you try to get everything in. You're in full pads. That's our grind day from a coaching standpoint. We're here Monday nights until really midnight, 1 a.m. And part of it is just watching film and game planning, and then getting ready for Tuesday's practice, because that's your longest practice. You do the special teams. You've got big team periods, inside drill. It's probably the practice that, as a coach, you get most excited about if you had to pick one, because you are in full pads and you're implementing the game plan. So you're seeing the things on the field that you hope that you plan on working for Saturday. So really, when you come out, you've got your walkthrough period, and that's when you start talking to the players about, hey, this is what we plan on doing in these certain situations and these personnel groupings. And then you go into a little bit of special teams, and then really everything else is live against exchange groups that are running the other team's offense, defense, and special teams units. So it's really your day where, after your Tuesday practice, when you watch film that night of the practice, you say, okay, keep this in the game plan, take this out. So it's a great evaluation day for us.
If you would say, how have you or how would you handle criticism from the fans?
Well, you really don't have a choice. You have to handle it. You listen, and that's about it. I don't respond to it, good or bad. But you can't have deaf ears. You definitely hear it. Your family hears it. You read it. You listen to it, and that's about it. You try not to let it affect your coaching style, philosophy, game plan, all the above. You can't, because when it comes down to it, this is my job. This is what I do for a living. There's very few fans that they're in the same boat. There's not a lot of coaches sitting in the stands watching us play. So I take that into consideration, and I appreciate their passion for UC football, but that's about it.
When you first came in, team was 6-5, and then you went 5-6, and then you went 9-2. Now, a lot of people would say that's pretty miraculous, the turnaround in such a short amount of time with the resources that you have, with this being D2. Now, would you say that you're starting a winning tradition at the University of Charleston?
I'd like to think so. When we go out recruiting, and I take a lot of pride and have a lot of passion for Charleston. And when we go out recruiting, I try to really talk about three main categories. One, you're going to a place that when you leave there, you're going to have opportunities available to you just because of your education and the academic reputation at UC. The second thing is, I tell them that you're going to play and have an opportunity to compete every year for a championship. And I really believe that we have the resources available to us to do those things. The third thing is, you're in an environment that you're going to have a great time doing both those things, academically and athletically. So I think it's important. My goal is to make sure that we do establish this program as a program that wins on a consistent basis. That's first and foremost my goal. Every year I want to make sure that we're having the opportunity to compete for a championship.
How exactly did you gain the players' trust and also the parents' trust when you first got here and now?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, when you talk about trust, it's earned. It's not given to you. I don't care if you're a coach, a teacher, or a CEO of a major business. It's something that when you deal with new people on a daily basis, that you've got to earn that trust. And really, the biggest thing that you can do is just be honest. We've got 107 players in our football program, and You're going to have good days, bad days, but as long as you're honest when dealing with players and staff and parents, that's all you can ask for.
What makes you different from other college coaches?
Well, everybody's got their own different coaching philosophy, personality. I think that I try to attack each day with a passion for what I do. Hopefully it's contagious with the staff and the players and the administration. I'm very competitive, and I don't know if it makes you stand out because every coach is going to tell you that, but I hope that I have the trust of the players, and I would consider myself somebody that I don't want to say players coach, but I hold a lot of stock in that. They're with the players, the relationship that I have with them. I hope it's a good one, and I take a lot of pride in that.
When you first came in, what were your biggest thoughts on replacing what some would say a legend in Coach DeMayo, somebody who basically rebuilt the program and brought it to where it is today?
I think Coach DeMayo, first and foremost, did a great job here just establishing a program. I was very excited to hear from the players that academics was important. And whenever there's change, it's not easy. I don't care if it's in coaching or business or marketing or any job opportunity. Whenever there's change, there's going to be transition. And I wanted to make it as smooth as possible, but to make sure that I maintained the characteristics that were important of the football program that Coach DeMayo established, but also integrated my philosophy and my expectations. It takes time. It's not something you do overnight. Like I said, some days were easier than others. We lost some kids probably because of transition and gained some guys because of the transition. So, like I said, it's never easy. It's just something that you hopefully time establishes your personality. I wanted to make sure that University of Charleston had, Pat Kirkland's stamp on it, not Tony DeMayo's. But I thought he did a tremendous job here. I think he was here for the 6 seasons and had instilled a good winning mindset with also that student athlete where we had that good life and balance. That was the one thing I wanted to make sure that we maintained.
If you had to say, what were the 2 most prominent mistakes that you made in your college coaching career?
Oh boy, just 2? You never know. When I was young coaching, you take advice and it's all about networking and everybody. I don't think you ever make or know if you make good or bad decisions till well down the road. I've accepted jobs, turned down jobs, interviewed for jobs. You don't know. I don't think there's 2 things that you can just say, hey, they were mistakes or they weren't mistakes. It's a tough question because no one has a crystal ball in life. And there's a lot of jobs that I don't want to say a lot, there's jobs that I've been offered that I turned down and said, what if? I think that's the biggest thing in college coaching is there are a lot of what ifs. You can't look back, you've got to move forward. Learn from your mistakes or learn from your experiences in the past, but if you let it affect you and that's what you're thinking about on a daily basis, then you're not going to be a very good football coach. You've got to have a mentality of, hey, next play. We've got to move forward in a positive manner and be excited about the opportunity that you have, where you're at, because that's what's going to create things for you in your future.
What is your off-season conditioning program like?
For me or the players?
I would say the players.
Yeah. Well, a lot of your conditioning in the off season, it's probably when you build your football team, you want to build a team atmosphere first and foremost. That doesn't get done just in August. It happens in the off season. But you're really just, You know, it's not as much about the weight gains that people make on bench and squat. It's more or less just getting them ready, making them better football players, and that's just mentally, spiritually, physically. That's what your off-season program's got to be geared toward.
If a player openly badmouths your coaching decisions, how would you handle that situation?
LA, first and foremost, we'd have a meeting and discuss that. But yeah, I would not. That's something that's not tolerable. You know, we're a family within a family, and when openly, publicly, if they have an issue with some of the decisions I make as a football coach, that's unacceptable. If they come in my office and address it with me personally, I'll listen and we'll talk about it, and those concerns will be addressed. But if they do it publicly prior to my knowledge, it's definitely unacceptable, and disciplinary actions would be taken.
Assistant coach Zachary Page knows just how aggressive Coach Kirkland can be on and off the field.
Definitely treated us coaches the same as the players. If we were to mess up and not do our duty, we were punished. Not through running, as let's say like the players would be, but we'd get an earful and we realize this is our job. We could lose it. So yeah, he definitely gave us the same punishments you guys for the mental aspect. But I would say coachability wise, yes. I'm not gonna lie, I've always been a player. That's my first coaching job, and I always couldn't stand the coaches when they got mad at me. Or mad at us and made us run and all that. But then now, when I've been on both sides coaching, I see all the hard work and all the time that's put in to preparing for the game in each and every team. I can understand why. They get so mad. It's gotta be perfection. It's like this in everything, in the coach's office and on the field. So yeah, I never really knew how to coach, honestly. I just knew how to play, and he definitely taught me how to coach because he's one of the best coaches I've ever been.
So let's say you guys go undefeated next year and you make a hot run into the playoffs, and a big-time NFL team or any NFL team or a D1 school comes to you with a huge offer. What exactly would be your next move, or what would you do, or would that just be something that when you cross that bridge, you'll get to?
I think it's something you got to come to. My first and foremost, I'm blessed to have a tremendous support staff, and I mean that by my wife. That is, she understands what I do, and she's moved with me a number of times with coaching changes. We are very excited and about being here in Charleston. We are both in proximity to our immediate families. We love the city of Charleston and have a great situation here. But at the same time, if a job opportunity presented itself that we thought would better ourselves and would give us tremendous opportunity, you always got to, entertain that. I don't think you can just make definitive decisions without having all the extrinsic factors on the table, but you would always entertain opportunities. That's just human nature for the most part. But first and foremost, we take a lot of pride, and we're excited and understand the opportunity that we have here in Charleston. So that's not something we take for granted.
I think we can all agree, though, that whether or not Coach Pat Kirkland stays at the University of Charleston, he left a mark in the history books that will never be erased.